This is my life. You see this? These are pills. Yeah. This is for high blood pressure. This is for infection. Here's silverstein, penicillin, ampicillin, Zocov, fosinopril, whatever the name is. I take a half a pill of that. This is clopidogrel. Also, I got to take this for strokes. Take one to prevention for strokes. You don't get strokes with this. This is for my tooth that's not good. This is for cholesterol. Then I take an aspirin. Then I take a multivitamin. And here I am. That's my life, pills. It used to be showbiz, now it's pills. All right.
We're about 75 miles north to northwest from the Twin Cities. Until 5 years ago, there was not a sign that pointed what direction Holdingford was. There are no state highways that go through this town. There are only county roads. Somebody a long time ago decided that one highway would be diverted through another town rather than this one, because the representative happened to live in the other town and not this one. And if you follow logically, the highway should go through Holdingford. But it jogs over by about 4 miles or 5 miles, so that way it could go through this other little small town. Garrison Keillor does a radio program called Prairie Home Companion. And he talks about this community in central Minnesota called Lake Wobegon. It's that place that we would all like to live. And he commented once that Holdingford was the most Lake Wobegonic community in the area. Everybody's just slightly above average. That's all there is to it. And that's kind of true. They are. Our test scores for our students are that way. Our workers are that way. It's like a step back in time, and it's nice.
The people are so friendly around here. I mean, like if you go to town, you stop and talk to everybody, and everybody knows you, and it's just, it's friendly. I mean, growing up, it was a lot of hard work. We lived on a farm. I got up at 4:30 in the morning, milked cows, came home from school in winter and had to milk cows and chop silage and baled hay and did all that kind of stuff. But it was a peaceful life. It taught you how to work and the values of life.
There's a lot of strong work ethic. The farmland's not the best in the world, primarily because a lot of it's sand and gravel. On a wet year, you'll get good crops. On a dry year, you get nothing. So the small farm just doesn't make it anymore.
You can't milk 20 cows really anymore and make a living like years ago. When I was milking, we milked anywhere from 20 to 30 cows, and you could make a living and raise a family with that. You can't do that anymore. You have to do that plus have another job. So I worked dishwashing at the high school.
At first, it was just kind of like a hassle. You know, I milked cows in the morning, did that sort of thing, came in, cleaned up, went to school, came home, did the same thing over again. But I like the people and I like the work. Everybody had a really good time.
Oh, I think it's just a wonderful group. Just kind of a family, just a real close-knit group of wonderful ladies. Yeah.
I think it was October 25th, just a month into the school. We just gotten home from church, and we sat down for breakfast, and my supervisor calls, and she says, well, you need to come in. And I says, no, it's Sunday, I'm not coming in.
I had turned off my cell phone. I was in southern Minnesota, and on Sunday night we were driving back, and there was a message on there, call Dale, my business manager. So I called him, and he said, just want to let you know that on Monday morning we will have to hire 16 new employees. And what do you mean? Well, he says, the cooks are all going to resign on Monday morning. Yeah. What? Why?
Now, this is Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 5.
Instead of the usual hungry mouths, these food service workers faced a hungry media this morning. Everyone wanting to know what these 15 cooks and 1 custodian are going to do with all that money.
I'm going to get a refrigerator that has a built-in ice maker.
One thing Phylis Breath isn't going to do is quit her job.
I work here and I spray dishes.
While she realizes that washing dishes and cooking food won't win her a spot on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, she loves being with the other ladies and with the kids.
I'm not going to retire. I like to be around people and I love people and I wouldn't retire.
As for the kids, they think it's pretty neat that their lunch is prepared by millionaires.
Everybody was cheering, and so it was really exciting. I mean, everybody was just all happy.
It's just crazy. You know, I wake up and I see the paper and it's on the news, on the radio on the way to school, and it's just Holdingford. You know, nothing happens here, so it's just crazy.
They came in on Monday morning just like they normally do. I went down and had coffee with them, and they were all smiling.
My mind wasn't even functioning. I was just like, words couldn't come into my mind, you know, to even pour out my feelings of how I felt, because I was still in shock, I think. The 16 of us were not like we all had much, you know, so it was just a real neat thing.
Coming home Monday morning, I tell my husband, really, do we have more money than so-and-so? Do we have more money than so-and-so? And he goes, yeah, because we've got some friends that are wealthy, you know, and it's like, they never have to worry about money, it seems. And then I said, well, do we have more money than they do? So, yeah, that was what was unbelievable.
They all came back. They're all working. Matter of fact, there's still 11 of them that are working here. They weren't rich and they weren't poor, because even if they didn't make a lot of money, they had all those things that we all wish that we had. You know, and money doesn't buy it. And it's still there. That's what's nice about it.
My kids really think I ought to get some new kettles. I don't have a handle left. The handles have all been burnt off. But I don't even know if I could work with kettles that have handles anymore. I've been without for so long. About a year and a half ago, they asked if I would take over collecting the quarters, buying the tickets, and checking the numbers. I hadn't bought lottery tickets for a long time, but after they put me in charge of it at school, then we would buy one for ourselves and one for the school. Sunday morning, I got the paper, checked our personal ticket, and we had one number, and after about 15 minutes, I remembered that I had taken the numbers home from school. And immediately I knew we won $3, because that's the first number you check, is that Powerball. And then I looked at the rest of them and I thought, oh golly. So I said, we won the Powerball. My husband said, yeah, $3. I said, no, I think we won the big stuff. The next day, the St. Paul Pioneer Press said, did you ever think about switching tickets? Well, the only way I would have switched them would have been if I'd have had the winning ticket. I would have called my supervisor and got her to school, and I would have exchanged the tickets and sworn her to secrecy, because this way it made the lives of 16 families so much better. And I guess that's what I think it's all about.
Okay. Doctor of Rap, 3 letters. I got the E in there. Okay.
My husband bought the winning ticket. He said, "I'll bet you never thought I'd make you a millionaire." And I said, "Well, you know, really, I didn't. But I sure didn't think you'd do it to 15 other women at the same time."
Hi.
Hi, you're on candid camera. Hi, Jackie. Well, this is the girl that sold the ticket to Al. And Jackie is the store manager.
It was a wild ride.
It was. It was.
It was crazy. I mean, it's exciting.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people are happier than heck that it was a lot of people. Because look at what that's done to the economy of this area. I mean, the whole area won, actually. The church, I've heard, St. Anna's got air conditioning now, so it's the famous church in the area. Let's go to St. Anna and have air conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, so it's done a lot.
This guy, he picked up a prostitute. He says, "I want some kinky sex." She said, "All right." So she lays him on a cot. She goes in there. She's naked, and she's got big breasts, and she puts the breasts into his face. She says, "These are the coconuts that fell off the tree in the storm." He says, "Oh, that's kinky." And she gets on top of him, and she pees on his chest. She says, "This is the rain from the storm." He says, "Oh, that's kinky." And she gets near his face, and she farts in his face. She says, "This is the wind from the storm." He says, "Oh, that's kinky." And she gets in position and she wants to have intercourse. She says, "What are you waiting for?" He says, "Who could fuck in this kind of weather?" That's a joke I heard in Century Village. An old lady told me this joke. Lou Eisenberg won the lotto and he became senile. He tells dirty jokes. Hey, Gussie, how you doing, babe?
My sister's a Brooklynite. As soon as she saw him, she knew who he was.
How are you? And we go this way, that way, and across. Yeah. I went to this doctor, and he introduced himself. He says, "My name is Dr. Hurt." I says, "Wow, what's the odds of that? I can't even move my back, my arm, or anything, and I got a doctor with the name of Hurt." He said, "Lou, do you ever get any sort of depression?" I said, "Dr. Hurt, you don't know my story." I said, "Why would I get depression? Listen to my story. I'm married 3 times, divorced 3 times. I won the New York State Lottery in 1981. I said, I won $5 million, and now I'm broke." I said, "Would that make you depressed?" He says, "Lou, you're beautiful." And that was it. That was my story. I'm still enjoying my life without the lottery winnings and so on and so forth. Right now I live in Florida, in West Palm, and I have a small co-op, and every once in a while we get a hurricane, but so far God has been good and everything is holding up, which is good. It's not quite like Brooklyn, but it's got its good points. Here's a face.
Mister, can I have your signature?
You could have my hat. Look at it. Look at it. If I had your hair, you know what I'd be?
You'd be in
I'd be
Hollywood.
beautiful.
I got 2 frozen meals. You want them?
What do you mean frozen?
You know, Hungry Man dinner and Boston with. One is with chopsticks and the other one is with chicken and potato.
Give me it. I'll take it.
Okay, 1 minute.
That's his wife, Phylis. Adorable, huh? I don't want to say too much because he gets jealous. Thanks, Phylis. Thanks, Bob.
Jane Ann says she doesn't have to cook.
No, that's what I'm making. At first I said no, but now goodbye.
Mwah.
Excuse me, Bob.
He got us on film kissing.
That's not. Oh my God! There's another thing. Another divorce. God.
Take care.
Take care.
guys.
Feel better.
You too.
All right. There was a newspaper man, Ron Wiggins. He said, "Lou, how come you didn't do what you had to do? You know, put a certain amount away." I said, "Ron, I never thought I'd be 76. No, nobody did. And I get a small pension from my electrical stuff that I did for 11 years. and my Social Security, and that's about it. I got a good sweetheart. I wish I could win the lotto for her. Who knows? Life is strange. I could hit it again. Or I could get lucky at the dog track. Who knows? Life is crazy. You got to have hope. Like I tell people, whatever I am, I said, you want to think about Lou Eisenberg, think about something positive. I mean, there's nothing negative in my brain. If I have money or I don't have money, there's nothing negative. And the trick is to stay that way and then try to make the most of your life. Hello. Good morning. My name is over here, Lou Eisenberg, someplace. E, on the bottom.
Oh, here you are.
Yeah, I know I'm at the end. All right, good girl. I don't care how old you are, you got to have that hope. If you're sick, you want to say, hey, one day I'll get better. Otherwise, you might as well die. And if you're broke, you say, oh, one day things will be better. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hello there, Lou.
What's the good word? Think all right? Even if it doesn't happen, it's good for your brain to think that way. If you're depressed and you just hang out and you'll always be depressed, that's no good. So you got to get your mind into something else. Like I go to the dog track, I'm doing something that takes my mind away of negativity. To me, it's a positive thing. And you know, it's like some people drink for that reason.
Hey, my friend.
What's doing, baby? You took a haircut, you look nice. What's doing?
I need a winning day.
Oh, God. I was there on Calder. And I was there Saturday and Sunday. You weren't there. I saw Roger on, I think it was Saturday.
Yeah, well, I worked.
Sunday, well, I figured maybe you go in between, like, you know, for an hour. You weren't there Sunday either, right? Because I looked. And Saturday, I had a good day. I won some money. And I went back Sunday. I said, we're going to get lucky. No good. Couldn't catch nothing Sunday. No. Hey, Phil, how are you?
All right, here we go.
One of each.
Here
Uno,
we go.
dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Wow, I could talk Spanish almost.
How about that?
Good.
One door.
I hope my friend is here. We're all set?
Okay, I think you got them all.
Okay, thank you.
Tune in tomorrow.
I bet usually simulcast. I like to bet Belmont and different tracks. And I go. I don't go as heavy as I used to go, but I still go and I still play. I enjoy it. And that's part of my scene, and my girlfriend works there, so it gives me more of an incentive to go. Hey, Jane, how you doing, babe? $1 try, 7 with 2 with 3, 4, 6, 8. $2, 7, 3, 7, 7, 7, 2, 7, 8. Give me $1 double cartwheel, 2, 4, 7 with 3, 7, 5, 9.
I was with him for the last year of his lottery checks. He really didn't change much. He's that kind of guy.
Thank you.
A lot of people, they say he blew it all gambling, but you know, he's enjoyed himself and he really doesn't care what other people say. I may be on a certain level, but he's enjoyed his life. And you know, maybe a lot of people would do it differently, but who's to say we could get run over by a Mack truck?
All right. Got to get up. They're playing the national anthem. That's everybody. Whatever. Home of the brave and the home of the brave. Okay, that's that.
Welcome to the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Seven's the winner. What are they, crazy? 7, 4, 8. I don't hit it. Well, what are you going to do? Can't have every horse. It's impossible. Now we're going to go to the doggies down this way. Here's a cute puppy. All right, I'm going to use 7-5. What's the expression? Every dog has his day? I'm waiting.
5 is Braxton's Raphael, weighing to 69. 36, just under 56.
Maybe I'll get lucky. I need 5-7. Rusty. Come on, you crazy rabbit. Let's go, 5, baby. Well, 5 got the lead. I need the 7. Five, 7, that's us, baby. We hit it. 5-7. What's that gonna pay? Well, one never knows, you know. It's like I have to see if I get lucky. Who knows? Every day is a new day, you know. A new adventure. I'm mama. I'm not really that smart to know what the meaning of life is, but I do know one thing. You might as well make the most of it and enjoy it. It's the only game in town. You know, I always tell people, look up, but once in a while, look down, there may be a hole, and you don't want to fall into it. That's what life's really about, and that's it. But make the most of it, baby.
We usually don't like them too big, so we probably kill them maybe in October. Yeah, we butcher them all in one day and do our stuff. We butcher them one day and cut them up the next. So one's more for my son and one's for my son's friend, and we keep one and the kids get the rest. And my little grandson used to love the pigs, but we never tell him in winter they had to go away because it was cold. He never knew what happened to them. So I didn't want to tell him because he really liked them, so. Growing up, we did all the thrashing, baled hay and picked rocks, you know, plus going to school, and came home and worked till 8 or 9 in the barn, came home and tried to get an hour of studying it, and same old thing the next day. So that's what we're used to. We used to have cows and we used to spread manure and use that, but now everything is falling apart. Nobody wanted to farm, and my husband's got a bad back, and, you know, we got out of it, so. But that's his first love, is farming, you know. He really enjoyed that. But comes a time where you have to go big and have the best machinery and stuff like that. You know. My husband's mom and dad raised their family here in this house and lived there all his life. And when we first got married, we had a trailer house back in that corner, and then we lived there for, I don't even remember how many years it was. 6 maybe, and then we built the house. So I had 3 kids in a 2-bedroom trailer. So it was pretty small. So it's the good old days. But it was fine. I mean, it was a nice living. We didn't have anything. I mean, what we had was good enough then, but it was all old stuff. I mean, we didn't buy a used couch, put it downstairs. You know, it wasn't anything that I went to a store to buy. Now we're involved in doing the house. The hardest thing for me to do now will be to get rid of that stuff or not use it again. I still don't like spending money. So I'm not going elaborate with anything. I'm still gonna kind of keep, I mean, I don't have expensive taste. I don't think I like nice stuff, but it's not expensive. So I don't know if I can't say if my life is really, I mean, it's nice to know I can do it, but I'll let you know once my house is done how I feel. It'll be different. Then maybe I'll feel like a millionaire. Maybe I'll say, oh my gosh, this is nice. But right now it's been too hectic and too chaotic and too stressful to really say, so I don't know.
We haven't done anything really in our house for, it's going to be 28, 29 years. And I mean, I just would clean it and wash it and just paint it once in a while and, you know, vacuum and keep it up, and that's all we did. So, I mean, we had drapes we didn't like, but it's like, oh, they were good enough. You cleaned them up and put them back up. They looked okay, but now it's going to be all new. Paul, open up some windows down here, okay? Somebody asked me, well, how does it feel for Christmas? You can go and buy anything you want. Well, there was really nothing I really wanted. I mean, everything I want is maybe $30. You know, I went and I bought stuff for my bathroom. It wasn't on sale. And I went with my daughter, and she said, Mom, you should buy this. And I thought, no, it's $30 just for a glass garbage can. And I break it. Well, then the next day when we went to look at the lights, I did put it in my cart, and I did buy it. So, I mean, I would have never did that otherwise. And I think that kind of, I'm thinking now when I'm buying stuff for the house, and you can go buy things and you don't have to buy the plastic, it's sinking in a little bit more. My son-in-law called the day we told him that we had won the lottery. And then he goes, Phil, what are you planning to do for yourself? And I said, well, I'm planning to help my kids out a lot. And he said, that's not what I asked you. What are you going to do for yourself? I said, I don't know. There was nothing. I mean, everything I have is fine, da-da-da-da. I never gave it a thought, and I never even thought about it. And then I said, well, you know what I always wanted was a refrigerator with an ice cube maker and water, because I'm always got water and ice. So now I ordered one. Right here, see? Mine's just going to be a white, nothing fancy, but it's got that. So that's that. That's what you can do when you win the lottery. Today, the citywide garage sale's in Holdingford, and I didn't get to go, so. My husband's thankful. I went yesterday, I mean, when I'm coming home yesterday from my son's, I saw one and I stopped and I got some deals there, so. Oh, there's a huge garage sale at Mary's. My husband would kill me. By now, I mean, you have to be out here early in the morning to get all these good things, but oh, look at all the goodies there. You bought all my goodies. Are all the bargains gone, or there's still some left?
Oh, there's a ton of them left.
Did you buy all the good bargains, or what?
Well, I'm getting some more right here.
Oh.
You think you aren't going to find anything, and you do.
You always find something? Well, I'll be.
I love these Christmas records.
Oh, that's cute.
Phyllis.
What?
You should shop in places.
That's where you find all the bargains, though.
I know, it's the most
I was so
fun.
excited yesterday. I got a ice cream scoop for 10 cents.
Well, I'm getting 2 little dolls here for 10 cents. Mitch Miller.
I didn't find nothing I can buy. We'll have to stop at another one. Well, I was happy. I bought a real nice ice cream scooper for 10 cents yesterday, and I bought a Tupperware cereal keeper for $2. Some shirts for the boys for every day for work for 25 cents. So I hit the jackpot yesterday. Oh, Budweiser. This is my son-sized bottle. Right, Jack?
Yeah.
At least 2 of those. Oh.
Oh my gosh, the millionaire lady, she still does garage sales.
We've been friends for, our kids have been, we went to grade school together. See, there's another one. We're all connected.
Yeah, we're all connected.
Yeah.
It's a Stearns
It's a funny thing, yeah. My mother comes from a family of 19. So we're related to almost everybody. Yeah, I mean, somewhere down the line, when you come from a family of 19, there's, you know, and some of them have 19 kids, some have 13, and
I got 13 brothers. And
yeah.
sisters. Yeah.
See? I'll show you where my mother lives. She used to live like 13 miles out of town, and about, let's see, 4 years ago we talked her into moving in here, and then my son bought her place and redid that, so. All right.
You couldn't open the door yourself.
See, that's what I get from my mother. This is my mom and where she lives. Oh, pickles. Is there some in here, Mom?
Help yourself.
Nice to have her nice and close. You know, because she lived in a big house, so I always worried. So it's just a comfort having her here.
Well, it's a mess. Shoes laying around all over.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess.
Mom has more rosaries than she knows what to do with, so.
They pray on them.
She's the one who comes from a family of 19. She has 19 brothers and sisters. There's only her and a sister left.
This is John, Charlie, Joe, Vince, Dad, Frank, Pete, Alois, Val, Louie, me, Mom, Josephine, Sally, Johanna, Mary, Lucy, Catherine, Angeline, Celia, Bridget, and Victoria. I think it's in here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the one. This was like at a get-together family.
Get a family reunion.
And that was many years ago. Now I think the one aunt, when 19, has that many kids on her own. Here I am, I'm looking away. And this is when they were still young. You should see it now.
Yeah. When my mother died, the priest on her funeral said that she had 300 some descendants.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents were not raised 19 kids, and they were never on welfare. Yeah, we never had any toys. She didn't have much toys. They didn't have much toys either. But she doesn't buy anything expensive. She looks for the bargains. She clips coupons. She's the same old Phylis like she was.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
She's not a millionaire. She's just a poor snook that the good Lord blessed.
My oldest daughter. She's always been pestering us to buy her four-wheeler. Well, finally I told her, yeah, when I win the lottery, you can get your four-wheeler. You have to be careful what you say. Well, I always told everybody I was going to win the lottery. Not going to make it farming, so I said, well, we got to win the lottery. So, but I'd say not a whole lot has changed in our daily schedule. You know, still up at 5 and milk cows. We haven't done anything like, you know, ran off and says, oh, we're millionaires, we can go and do this. But if I want to buy something, I can buy it. I don't do that too often. My husband's home now. He quit his job. So actually it's a lot more fun now than what it was before.
You have to do something, you know, and this is what we've always wanted to do. You know, that's why we were doing both jobs, you know. Now you're thinking back at it more now, it was a lot of work, but we all did it, you know. Barb did the milking, the kids are always out here, so, you know, you didn't think of it that way, just the way it was.
The kids do the feeding, train them. They have to clip them.
The hair, long hair has to be trimmed off on their head. They have long their ears, you know. All that has to be trimmed off of them. For the showing, they're a lot cleaner, and she washes them a lot and blow dries them and everything.
They have so much hair, it just takes forever to dry, and then they comb them. It's a lot. It is a lot of work.
Yep. She bought that with her own money, this animal here last winter. There's some little calves back here. That's just a baby one. The ones without ear tags in them, those are bull calves. Like that's a bull there. We don't tag them. We will castrate him when he gets bigger and stuff, make him a steer. These are the bigger steers, like the little one we had, and this is what the bigger ones are now. We just butchered here 2 weeks ago for ourselves. That was that little pile of it you walked over there. We just, that's blood, dried blood, we just butchered right there.
I don't have quite as many worries as I did before. You know, you say that money's not everything. Well, it's not. You know, family comes first, but it just made it a lot easier. You know, I know the kids can go on to college now, and that's been a big thing for us to know that, you know, now they can go to college if that's what they choose to do. But I don't think we've really changed that much. I don't know. You'd have to ask the neighbors that one.
That's for this, that. Where are you? When I came out of service, I wanted to be an electrician, and it was a father to son kind of a thing. I couldn't get into it. So I had aunts of mine that were hairdressers, and they said, why don't you try it? So I went to hairdressing school, and I bought a store for $500. I never made money. I made a frugal living. And in between, I'd go to Avenue P and try to win some money, you know, playing handball, or go to the Trotters, always trying. And then that was it. That was my lifestyle. These are my handball gloves. If it don't fit, it quit. I heard that someplace. I used to play with these gloves, right? Handball. Yeah. A lot of fun with these gloves. Did a lot of hustling, a lot of fun, and good times. That's Billy, Larry, and Johnny. And there was a guy, Irving Beck. He was a character. A bald head, got a hook nose, a little thin body. He looked like the Eagle. His nickname was the Eagle. That was his nickname. And he used to call me Louie the H. I said, why? He says, you take all my money, you're a whore. I says, all right. So I says, but you're saying my nickname is Louie H. It's supposed to be Louie W. You don't know how to spell whore. And then it was Louie the Beautician. I was doing that for 14 years, and one day the store was busy and some lady came in. I remember her name, Mrs. King, and she said, I cannot wait, and as she was talking, I started to feel like I'm going to fall down. I got like uncomfortable, like faint, and after that everything was down with my nervous system. I stopped being a hairdresser, and that's how I ended up Louie Lightbulb. Get in there. I couldn't speak. I used to get anxiety attacks. I took that job putting in light bulbs because I couldn't make eye contact with anybody. And I would say, I couldn't speak. And when I won the lotto, for whatever reason, he gave me a shot in my arm. And now I don't stop talking. This is when I first won. It says $5 million Lou Eisenberg. That's me. Wow, what a small world. That's when I first won. They had me on they had my face all over New York. I was on paper bags, I was on billboards, on everything. I was the first $5 million winner in the world. And my claim to fame was that, and that I bought my ticket on Friday the 13th, which is supposed to be, yeah. And with me, it was like, it was nice. And they made me into, again, a Mickey Mouse celebrity, and I went along with the ride. I had a good time. I met a lot of people, and that was the best. Oh, this is from the Ripley's, believe it or not. The Friday the 13th. This is what was in the paper. I didn't see it. Somebody saw it upstate in one of their papers, and he sent me this picture. I said, look at this. I'm like diarrhea. I'm all over the place. I got snapshots here of Vic Damone, Peggy Lee. I got just about everybody here. This is Alan Dale. He used to be a singer. In 1951, on the hit parade, he was bigger than Frank Sinatra. He would say, what's new? He had that voice, very good, a good singer. We went into some sort of a function, and I was big at the time. My face was all over New York. And he says, why are they coming to you for autographs, not me? That was Alan. I just said, Alan, what are you going to do? Hey, here's Regis, my man. There he is. And the lady in the middle, you don't have to mention her, that's an ex-wife. No, we pass her over quickly. And there's Sally Jesse Raphael, Joan Rivers, Eli Wallach, and Kate Jackson, Don Rickles. Look at that face. There's Miss Universe at that time. John Davidson, that's Patrick Ewing. It's not that I'm a midget, he's just very tall. Here's Governor Cuomo. I even got Governor Cuomo here. And when he was governor, he came by to say hello. I sent him a picture, and my eyes were closed. And I said, I'm sorry, my eyes closed. He said, even with your eyes closed, you look better than me, Lou. He was a nice man. And here's my 53rd, or let me think, 52nd, one of my birthdays. And they had a big birthday cake, and my family was there. My mother and father, that's my son, and that's Jerry Orbach. That was my birthday cake. And Jerry was in 42nd Street, and I went backstage to see Jerry. And he said, and my ex-wife at the time said she never was on a broad, she wants to dance. He said, well, nobody's here, go ahead on the stage. And she was on the stage dancing on 42nd Street. I got a kick out of somebody saying, gee, I wish I could be like him. I enjoyed that. And, you know, it was like, it was nice. It was a nice thing. Good sideshow for me. Anyway, it was good.
Meet Lou Eisenberg, instant tycoon.
From the age of 25 to 30, I always had this fantasy of mine of being able to retire at a fairly young age, which at that time I would imagine would be about 50 years old. And it was just a good fantasy of thinking that maybe one day I'll be able to do it.
Here I am, a guy that knows nothing, and I'm full of anxiety, and I got panic attacks, and the New York Times wants my opinion on this. The Daily News wants my opinion on this. The TVs all want me, and the Post, and I'm saying, look at this, what happened here? It's like some picture I saw with some guy that was a retard. They made him the president or something like that. And here I'm a plain guy, and all of a sudden, what about this? And Lou, what do you think about stocks? I don't know nothing about stocks. Ask me about a daily double, you know. But life is funny.
What did you do, Mr. Eisenberg?
I screwed in light bulbs like what you have around here, you know, ballast light bulbs, things like that.
You were like a
maintenance,
electro-maintenance for a public building in Manhattan?
Yes, in New York.
But one day after he became the $5 million lotto winner, Louie Eisenberg retired.
Did on the last day you say to yourself, hey, $5 million, what am I up here changing these light bulbs for?
I knew I won the lotto Monday. Now here I am changing light bulbs, and I'm saying, I got to be a sick guy. I said, what kind of a nut am I? What kind of a lunatic am I? I'm a millionaire putting a light bulbs in. So it really was a funny scene. Then I said, maybe I'm not sick, I'm eccentric now. It's a difference, you know.
Tell me a little about how your life has changed. I mean, apart from the obvious things, you obviously have things you never had before, but how has Lou Eisenberg changed?
Lou Eisenberg retired at 54, so that was pretty good.
Lou Eisenberg and his wife Bernice are walking tall and living high these days. A different life from a year ago when Lou spent his days screwing in light bulbs for $200 a week.
The Eisenbergs live here on the 17th floor, bought themselves a co-op, come a long way from the days when he was known as Louie the Light Bulb. I'm sure. Lou, how are you? Nice to see you.
Lou's toys include a new apartment in Brooklyn overlooking the ocean, new furnishings, new accessories to accommodate a new lifestyle.
アイゼンバーグさんのラッキーナンバーはなんと昔住んでいたアパートのアドレスでした。それも貧乏だったため各地を転々。その中で楽しい思い出がちょっぴり残っている住所を思い出しながら申し込んだとのこと。奥さんは乳がんで何回も大手術。治療代お幸せに。
How do you spend your days now? We go to shows, we go to the city, do a lot of eating out. That's how I put this weight on. And I go to a racetrack once in a while. I enjoy that. You're gambling. Yes, I enjoy a little wager. Little action. I have to give him some money back. It works out that way.
When you won the lottery, did you start getting strange relatives?
I always had strange relatives, but they started to come around more frequently.
Now, let's start with horror stories. You hear them all the time about people that win the lottery, and they come back and are covered again, maybe a year later, 2 years later, and they've spent it all. They've squandered it.
Oh, it took me 20 years.
May I just, when people think of people becoming instant millionaires, they always think of, you know, da-da, boom, boom, bow, bow. You both are impeccable.
Do you understand what he said?
Louis and Bernice Eisenberg won $5 million. $5 million bucks. And no sooner did they win, they got a call from the Reagans saying, congratulations, you're now qualified to be our friends. I don't want to get personal and ask what you were making before.
You may.
But,
$225 a week. From bulbs to financial success.
Yeah.
I did it my way. I don't know.
He cracks up on it.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute. We'll take a break here. Figure this out. He did it his way.
This is before Curtis. I did a lot of stuff, you know, for the first year because Curtis won the following year. In 1982, he won the same amount he says he won $200 more, but that's all right. It's $5 million and change. He came to the press conference. Most people come with 3, 4 people. Curtis came with like 20. Everybody came, and he came in with no smile on his face. I said, Curtis, what's wrong with you? I was their spokesperson, you know. And he says, Lou, they were trying to figure out how they would take my money all night. They put us together. It was like a Jewish guy and a black guy. What a combination.
Hey, Curtis.
This is good as the commercial.
New York's lotto for all those millions? Man, we were hot stuff. But now they got this new Lotto 48 Wednesday and Saturday. The jackpot start and the millions. It could really get big. Makes us look like penny pinchers. We gotta play Lotto 48. Right. But first, let's eat. 2, please. And don't be stingy with the mustard.
New, bigger Lotto 48. The new way to join the family of Lotto millionaires.
I padded my pot. They wanted me to say 2. I said, 2, please. You know, he'd carry on, and then I would do my shtick. Abbott and Costello, you know, that kind of stuff. And then the public loved him. I mean, it's basically, he has a great personality, and he's a fun person. Curtis and we had a good thing. I think it was Andy Warhol said everybody has fame for 15 minutes. I think we milked it for 22 years, and it was fun in doing it. I got a kick out of it, and so did Curtis.
Here's a couple of guys that reach for the stars. Lou Eisenberg and Curtis Sharp, and they're loving it. And there's the Knicks lottery winner, Patrick Ewing.
This is it. This is Curtis and me presenting at the Emmys. Curtis and I were presenters at the Emmys, I think in 1986, in that area, right? 1986 to 7. We went to the bathroom together, and we're there standing by the urinals, and Geraldo comes in, and he says, don't you guys do anything alone? I said, come on, join the group. And guess who's here? It's a funny story with Tony Bennett. Maybe 2 years ago, I went backstage in Burt Reynolds' theater. And I was allowed to go because everybody knew me and liked me and all that nonsense. And I said, Tony, do you remember who I am? He says, who are you? I said, my name is Lou Eisenberg. I won the lotto in New York in 1981. And we took pictures in New York, and you wanted Curtis and me to go to Las Vegas with you. And Tony Bennett says, no, I don't remember you. I said, do you remember Curtis? He used to wear a derby and this and that. And he says, no, I don't remember him either. I said, okay, let's take the picture anyway. Now I go home and I talk to Curtis. I says, Curtis, I saw Tony Bennett. He says, yeah. I says, and he didn't know who I was. He said, well, Lou, what are you going to do? I said, but that's not the end of it. He didn't know who you were. He says, that rat. That was funny. But Tony was all right. Funny stories. And time marches on.
He was the Jew and I was the Negro, so the black. And so they sort of played it up like salt and pepper, you know. I was salt and he was pepper. Yeah. When I won, my face went all over the world. I was in the working man class, so people looked at me as a celebrity. And it was really something. People see me walking down the street, jumping out the car, coming over, shaking my hand, acting like they've been knowing me for years, you know, and I'm just signing autographs and everything, you know. It was just chaos, you know. I was a big thing during that time. Miss Rashid.
Yes.
How you doing?
Fine, how are you?
This is Miss Rashid, and I guess I'm pronouncing it right.
Rashida.
Rashida. And she do my tailoring for me. And Deborah's supposed to be getting that, bringing that other suit. I think she said it was here, but I want you to do the pants on it for me.
What they're doing? Writing a story about you?
Yeah, well, I won the lottery back in 1983, New York lottery. I was the first black to win the New York State lottery, $5 million, and now I'm broke. So,
you're broke?
Yeah. I had some good time with the lottery money. Gave some away, spent the rest of it, you know. First thing I bought was a Fleetwood Cadillac. Then I bought a house up in West Orange. I had one time over 100 bowler hats, you know. And my first wife, Barbara, I gave her over $1 million and a house. Right now, I'm living in Tennessee. And when I first moved here, I had bought this old tavern. It was a beer joint, you know. I didn't care nothing about no bar. I mean, I had bought it for my son, right? The day we moved in there, that's the day he went to jail. And he's been in and out of jail ever since. They got him for child support. Then he got tied up in cocaine. And now they got him on a gun charge, so. I mean, he's been in and out ever since we've been down here. I got him out of trouble in New Jersey, and he came down here and got in the same trouble, so. The average life of a man today about, what, 70-something years old or 80. This life here on earth is just like a vapor, and then you're gone. That's all there's to it. I could have been depressed, you know what I mean? And how I went through the money and everything, man, I didn't have no money in the bank. I must have had about, I don't know, about $3,000 or $4,000 in the bank, but I had no money. Then the IRS came up and said I owed them $275,000. And I said, my goodness, you know. And what it came from, I had bought into a tax shelter back in New York, and it was phony. And everybody bought into that tax shelter. Well, they had to pay this money back, you know what I'm saying? Then I was in partnership with my friend, and we had a real estate like thing going on, which I didn't know nothing about. Didn't know, because I don't know that much about real estate, but Jeff knows all of this stuff, so I was his silent partner. We had accumulated quite a few houses at one point, but then we was depending on the bank to back us up, and they pulled out, they didn't back us, so caused us to lose a lot of money. But I got investments too, you know. A friend came by to tell me about this deal. And at the time he was trying to get shareholders to invest in this thing. We met up out by Lebanon at a hotel, and Mr. Tilley had this thing set up. It's a type of technology that Mr. Tilley has discovered that can keep batteries charged up for indefinite times, you know. And I really didn't know what I was looking at because I don't know that much about electricity, but somehow I believed it. We have a complete electric car that you never had to plug in and don't use no gas motor or nothing like that with it. And it will just run on forever. They don't know how to do it, but it's been proven. I bought into it. And the shares was $1,000 a share. And I called a few more people, and everybody that I called mostly, you know, wanted to invest in it. At one point, it was to be sold for $8 billion, you know. So in that way, every share would have came to about almost $8 million a share. During the meantime, the state came in and took our car, the box that was running the building, and everything that had something to do with that, and he took it. And they was holding it, and they still holding it. They tried to say that Mr. Tilley was selling false stock, which was a lie. You know, they tried to say that he was selling phony stock, but we knew that was a lie. Everybody that bought into it knew it was a lie, you know. We done gone through some trials and tribulations with it, but I think at the end it's going to be worth the wait. Oh man, they have nice neighborhoods all over this place. We got some nice big houses up in here. See, in order to have a house like that, you got to have money. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the upkeep on the houses, say, tremendous. And the property tax, man, it runs you like I don't know what. See, now, the house that I was looking at was down here, but your boat basin is down here, you see. They don't have it at the back of the house. I wanted something to just come right into my backyard, you know. Oh, they got this house here for sale now, too. Oh, yeah, I'll be able to buy several of these, man. Not that I would, but... Now, here's the one I was looking at right here. You talking about something beautiful on the inside, man. Blow your mind. Yeah, if the money had a king, we was gonna get that house there and that one and this one right here. I wish. Man, this is the life. Just as soon as my horse come in, I'm gonna get me one.
You could just introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Susan Breath, and my maiden name was Seitz, and that's spelled S-E-I-T-Z. And I moved here when I was in 4th grade, and we lived down across from the funeral home. And I still remember when we lived there how we had a kind of like a little steps that went up into the yard, but sometimes at night when it got dark, it was like I'd sit on that little cement steps and I would think, oh, I don't want to be around here when it gets dark because you just never know if somebody's come walking out of that funeral home. I used to just really think crazy things about the funeral home, and now it's just kind of cute because here my oldest daughter is a mortician.
Okay, polka time, folks. Don't forget, we got any requests, feel free.
We don't know him, we'll play him anyway.
Yep. It's quite the gathering. A lot of people come from far and wide.
Right over here is the bingo stand.
Oh, 66. Got a bingo over here? Okay.
They have a filled auction on the flatbed over by the band over there this afternoon. Gosh, beautiful. Oh, look at the deer. Yeah. Here's the alphabets. Here's the Winnie the Pooh. That's a popular one. This is Precious Moments. Precious Moments. Oh, here's another one, Care Bears. Oh, is this beautiful. Better continue on. I'm just not a big city slicker. I guess I just, don't go out to Red Lobster and say, hey, yeah, I want, lobster or something, so. Did you get butter for your bread? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll grab this peach one. Just never even dawned on me that would ever win anything like that. I'm not one to run downtown and buy lottery tickets, stuff like that. And to have 16 of us winning it was lucky, because I guess I just can't even imagine ever winning it myself. I just couldn't. I don't know if I could handle it.
We haven't changed really, and there's no reason to. We were both born and raised and grew up with things were kind of tough, and we pinched and we saved and this and that, and I don't think we have changed much.
Okay. Coming from a family of 13, it was not easy because, like I said, I was probably one of the oddballs out of the 13 that had problems. I had a lazy eye, and so in second grade already I had to wear a patch on my eye, and so I was going to the eye doctor every month, and then I had to have special shoes because I had a fallen arch, and then I used to have tonsillitis a lot, and so between that and going to the doctor, it was just kind of like, it was a real, a lot of expense back then in those days. They always used to say, yeah, Susan, you're the real oddball and you're costing mom and dad a lot of money. And so when I was in 10th grade, I started working at the grocery store. I still remember when we would get paid, it was $1 an hour. So I made $20 a week. And when I could bring home a beef roast for my family, it was like my mom was overwhelmed. So that was what was really great. Okay, now we will take you to my fruit cellar. And here, oh yeah, then I didn't tell you this. Actually, in the winter, we only burn wood, and that's pretty much our fuel. We have a wood stove down here. My husband splits all this from wherever and keeps it and stores it out on the home farm, which is about 5 or 6 miles west out of Holdingford here on number 17.
I got people calling me. They call me the woodman. I got people calling me to clean up their deadfall, and I just love cutting wood. It's good therapy. I call this here therapy for men. I burn wood all my life, and I'm going to keep on burning wood as long as the good Lord lets me.
We have lots of stuff in here, and mostly a lot of jars. And my husband he just took out about 50 or 75 jars about a couple years ago and said he had these huge plastic bags from work, and he goes, Susan, you can't keep keeping jars. What are you going to do with them? And I said, well, there's people out there that sometimes need quart jars, and it was all these Miracle Whip jars. So he, one day when I wasn't home, went and cleaned out a bunch of jars. I get a lot of jars from some of my sisters, and sometimes when my husband has a picnic or whatever, they buy the pickles. So then they're going to throw the jars, and I say, no, don't throw the jars. I'll reuse them. This is all my homemade tomato juice. I bottled it in 2002 in these little bottles that you buy regular apple juice in and stuff. I must have made about 20 bottles of juice like this, and then I also made salsa. I love to make salsa, and I keep these jars from the original Tostitos or wherever I buy salsa. Sometimes the kids keep the jars, and then I reuse them, and so they reseal in the same salsa jar. And even the taco sauce, I like to make my salsa in the taco little bottle, so nothing gets thrown away around here. Believe me, I recycle, reuse everything I possibly can. You can use your Gerber Junior baby food jars again. Actually, these are jars from when my kids were little yet, needless to say, but yeah. Now this was canned in 1998. And this one is actually from back in 1995. These are my 2001 pickles. These would be my 2002. These are from 2003, and I put them in an applesauce, Musselman applesauce jar. And this is the good old Miracle Whip jar. This is now another ragu jar, which I use a lot of them too. The grape jelly jar, Cub Food hamburger slices. There's one jar in here that I remember very well. This is a Folgers coffee jar, this particular jar, and this is a nice one too when you have like the medium-sized pickles, because then you can get 2 layers and then even put the littler ones on the top. But I would say the best pickle jar usually would be pretty much the Gidney. They have the wide mouth, and so then you can really pack them in, and you don't have to worry about pushing them and sliding the pickle and busting it up. No, I believe these are my 2004 pickles here. I'll have to probably use these first when I start getting into 2004, because they look a little cloudy. They should look a little clearer than this, I think. This is probably the nicest pickles I've had, and we have other people that are out in the area that don't have pickles, and I make sure that if they need pickles, come over. Otherwise, like I said, everyone tries to, make sure the pickles keep getting processed by someone, because we don't want to let these pickles go to waste.
We had a cold snap for maybe about 2 weeks, but I think it's been less snow than normal. It's been like below 0, 30 below, that type of thing, but I like it cold. Really now since Christmas, it's been a lot of work because of the fact that, people have been sick and vacations and surgeries and things like that. But that's okay. They're a fun bunch of people to work with. When I saw you this early. Oh, I didn't know Rosanna. Yeah. What's the matter with her? Do you know? I don't know. I just heard she's sick. Oh, I don't know. My husband was an RN, the VA hospital. He worked there. And then he got a job at a nursing home, and he worked there until I won the lottery, and I told him I wanted him to quit. So that was my gift to him. I said, now you're retiring. And our candy dandy hairnets, I'll be so cute. It's a fast-moving pace when you have to feed all those kids and wash those dishes. I got bad knees. I've had 4 knee surgeries and an ankle surgery. So, it keeps me going. At least it keeps you limbered up. So, it gives you something to do and keeps you in shape, can't you tell? I just work. It gives you something to do, and what do? I mean, if you sit around, you're gonna. What purpose do you have in life? I'm basically a dishwasher. I am certified to work out in the kitchen area. I prefer not to do that. Out there, it's every day, it's different food, so you have to do different things, and I don't care for it as much, so I enjoy it back here. When you have like mashed potatoes or cheese or dressing, you get, it's hard to keep up. It gets pretty hectic. When we used to have soup day, I'd tell them not to eat the next day because we'd have to do bowls and trays. So, don't eat tomorrow, I tell them. But they ate anyway sometimes, so. But now we got styrofoam bowls, so I don't have to worry about it, so. I'll get a raise now because I am certified. I just got certified. I worked here all these years and never was certified, so now I just got certified, so then you get 20 cents an hour more. So that'll come in handy. degreaser in here? I use that money for what I wanted to do, and I still do that. So it's like my money, and I can do with it what I want. And I live from paycheck to paycheck. You know, when I get that paycheck, I can go to town today, I can go shopping, I can do some Christmas shopping. Thank you. You betcha. You know, we're older in life, but we have 4 kids. We want to see them benefit from this. My kids told me to retire next year. I mean, like finish up this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. I like it. My husband's home, and I mean, if I was home all the time with him, we'd probably be divorced, and I don't want that. So it just gives me something to do, and I like the people I work with, so we have a good time.
I've been playing for 14 years, and it finally paid off. At a quarter a shot. We started out putting a quarter in, and that's what we always put in. The neat thing about it, I won it with 15 of my best friends, ladies I've worked with for years. It was a lot of fun.
You know, it was interesting because the first day then when the news came out, a couple of kids, these are upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, says, what's going to happen with us now with our food? Because they really like what they make. And I says, I don't know. I hope it doesn't change anything. And at the end of the school year, I saw a couple of the kids, and I said, well, has the quality of the food changed? Oh, no, it's still the same. So if you think about it, they were happy that they won it, but they were also worried about their own stomachs to make sure that their food was going to be still going to be good. So
the kids have joked about it, you know, in the lunch line, about the fact being served by millionaires. But other than that, there's not any real change. It's a nice feeling to see them not lose that hometownness. I mean, it's just, they haven't changed at all. And, you know, I don't know if I'd be that way if I just walked out with, you know, $90-some million. So we're impressed.
Did we ever think it would happen? No. I mean, it's something that is a dream, a chance of a lifetime. And it's nice that we're all still here to talk about it, though, you know. We were mortgaged to the hilt. Neither of us had a vehicle decent. Well, when you start buying stuff, we got kids to put through college. We just made it a goal. We'll work for 9 years. I quit my other 2 jobs. I just work in the one now. And my husband's doing something he likes that he can handle for 9 more years. And then we decided when the kids are done with school, then we're done.
I suppose you thought we'd be sitting in Aruba or whatever that place is, someplace like that, in our bikinis and stuff like, nah. I'm always busy. I know everybody asked me if we were going on vacation, and I said no. I'd rather just stay at my house now. Wait till you see my furniture. And we did this all ourselves, my husband and myself. We got a camouflage chair. My kids thought we were crazy. Isn't that neat? Did you ever see one of these where you sit and see? So you can eat here and watch TV, write pictures, play cards, write a love letter, whatever. Isn't that neat? Got our drapes of pennies, custom made. She told me if I wanted to go be daring, I could go with the black. This is my ice maker. I cried when it started working. It took me about 1.5 years to get it, and I never thought I'd be able to afford one of those, so I'm just really happy with it. Look at that. Look at that. Fantastic. And I called my daughter-in-law when I got it hooked up, and I was just crazy. And she told her son, come and listen to your mom, because I tell her, I just heard the ice cubes drop. They're coming in. And I was so excited. So they thought I was crazy, but I cried when that happened, and I cried when I got my furniture, when they delivered that. I just was like a giddy schoolgirl. And a little bit when the drapes came, but the furniture and the refrigerator were the worst. So when it came in and I was crying, Paul asked me, "What are you crying for?" I says, "Who would have ever thought I could have just got what I liked?" So this is mine, yes.
Well, we had this hurricane, and we had tremendous wind, and a lot of the shrubbery and trees, and everything was closed. We didn't have electricity between like 5 days, and we had no lights. It was hot. You could not breathe here, and we had no ice and no refrigeration. It was like impossible. When I was in the Army in Okinawa, it was even better there than it was here. Nice breeze, huh? The Red Cross gave out some food, and we had some tuna fish. You know, we had cold cuts, and they filled the trunk with water and ice, and that was what we had.
It was a little scary. I had to evacuate my mobile home in Lake Worth, and we have another tropical storm coming in, which we hope bypasses us, but it's taking the same path as Francis, so we're praying that it misses us. I just got settled back in my mobile home, so I think if it hits again, I'm just going to leave everything behind and head out.
Did he fix it or no? He wasn't in. No, he didn't do it. No. All right, what are you going to do next time? Hiya, puppy. Hello, little baby. Look who's here.
Yeah, guess who's here?
There's Schmutzies.
Come on, let's go do our business.
See this guy over here, that roof came off completely. It was on the ground. That door got whacked out. And what do you call it, the satellite dish, we just had to put, not that one, but ours was banged off. This part here came down completely. We took all of this stuff, this heavy furniture there. She has it from years and years, it's antique. We had to carry it and put it into the house. And let me tell you, I'm not like I used to be, and it was like very difficult to do. This is my life. Who would ever think I'd be out of Brooklyn? I'd be here. Me, in a million years, I never thought I'd be in Florida. I was 65 and I wanted a whole new life. I wanted to feel like I was young again and everything was good again, and that didn't work out too good. Matter of fact, I got old very quick. I don't feel good half of the time. I feel like I fake it, you know, I fake like I'm doing right now. I feel okay, but I really don't feel like I want to feel. I see some of my peers, and maybe they're 2 years, 3 years, 4 years older than me, and to me, they're like, wow, they're like my mother, you know, my father, and I'm saying to myself, but that's me. You know, like, what happened? And you see this?
No power.
No power. It's a long time to be without electricity, especially if you're old and you need it. But it could be worse. You know, a lot of people got hurt. Some people might have lost their lives. I mean, a lot of bad things happen. So we got to think that we're fortunate, and that's it. When I was on the Johnny Carson show, I had a young man, a college young man. and he was driving us around. And he said, Lou, did you ever think that you won the lotto because God wanted you to? I said, really, I never thought as a religious thing. I thought that, you know, I was just lucky and I won the lotto, but maybe what you're saying is true. And then I went the other route. I said, well, maybe it was the devil wanted me to do it. That's a bad scene, you know? This little store up there, if they're open. What is it?
Need to get lottery tickets?
We'll go for $1 quick fix. Here you go. This is the place.
You want to buy my lotto tickets for me?
Why not?
The guy that owns the place has been here for years and years, and that's why I buy my tickets.
They're nice people there. I
Very
like,
good
and
people.
Sam, I get a kick out
Good
of
to see
Sam.
you. I remember you from the ads from years ago.
God,
How long ago was that?
22 years ago.
You could get me lucky.
Oh my God.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
I'll be back on Johnny Carson, but there's no more Johnny Carson.
I'll take a couple of quick fixes.
Here you go, we're doing this.
Okay, sir. And I'm going to give him the money and let him pay for it.
All right.
And then what I'll do is I'll get a couple of quick picks. What was that, $2?
Two. Yeah. How many quick?
One.
Uno.
Two.
Dos.
Three.
Tres.
4. This way he'll give me 3 more individual quick picks.
Okay, now we're gonna get three quick picks, so that'll be $5 altogether, right? This is. I knew one day it'd come in handy. I don't know how, where, or what.
Quick luck will hit.
Who knows? Listen, there's nothing wrong. Regards to Sam. Sam is, you know, you take care of yourself.
Thank you
well.
very much.
That's all right. Get lucky. I hope it works out.
South Carolina played that one. They $126 million right
What am I?
now.
That's too much money.
But look at all these tickets, though. Look at all these tickets.
Don't go for too much. If you're gonna get lucky, you're gonna go for $1 or $2.
Hey, if you win, put me in your bank account. Just send me a
Why not? Well, listen, if I win, I'll be back here. All right, we're out. Take care, guys. Stay well, all of you. Get lucky. Oh, so. I get a kick out of a guy like that. He says, I feel like you're going to be lucky. He says, let me buy my tickets for me. I said, all right, give me them. I like, if I could bring somebody happiness and they feel good, I like that. I said that on radio, I said it on TV. I like being a happy person and making other people feel that everything is good. Because everything isn't good, let's face it.
See, when I won the money, my life changed materialistic-wise. You know, I had all the limousines, you know, because they was always coming picking me up, you know, taking me into New York to do a show, do some promotion, something like that, you know. And during that time, I started smoking the cigars and stuff like that, you know. And everybody just looked at me as a celebrity. Anywhere I went, they saw the bowler hat, you know, man. People just went crazy. Everybody just hollering and waving at me, you know. Curtis, Curtis, Curtis. Oh yeah, it was really nice, I'm telling you. But, you know, man, I was backsliding, fornicating, everything, you know. I mean, my fiance here was shacking. We was living together. And I was drinking a lot. I'd pull out there in front of the driveway about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with the motor running, and I'm in there high, drunk. And she would lock me in the car, you know. And I wake up there the next morning, you know, the sun's shining, I'm here, you know. And one night I left the tavern, and I don't know where I hit a dog or a hog or what. I can remember hitting something, but, you know, it was, I don't know, it could have been a big box in the street, you know. And I said, I know good and well I ain't got no business being like this. I was a Christian, but I wasn't doing the things that Christians supposed to do. And so it sort of nagged at me, you know. So I went out to the bar and I told them, I said, you can have the place. I said, I'm going to serve the Lord. And I said, I'm going to serve him as hard as I was serving Satan out here. And they laughed at me, you know, because we all used to drink together, you know, and cut up and act foolish, you know. So I walked out there that night, and I ain't looked back. My fiance's first cousin, I used to go to his house, and one night I was at his house, and I was asking him, where is there a black church? He said, it's one right around the corner from your house. I said, you mean that little brown house I've been passing out there? He said, yeah. So anyway, I went to Bible study that Wednesday night, and I joined that Wednesday night, and I've been a member there ever since. So a lot of people think that because you give your life to the Lord, you're serving Him, that, you know, things rise up, it's boring and all that. No, it's not. I got a lasting joy within me and peace of the Lord. So, you know, it don't take money to make me happy. Yes, Lord. Oh, glory to His name. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. See, God is in control of everything, you know? And I had made up my mind I was going to serve the Lord. I'm a minister. I'm an elder. I've been ordained. I got a license, and I can go and preach anywhere or teach. Well, I like to say about you can have joy in the Lord because there's a certain peace that He gives you. Mm-hmm. You know, that you might not have the things of the world that you want, mm-hmm. but as long as you got that peace and joy within you, man, you's all right.
That's right.
You know?
Amen.
Mm-hmm. You know, like I was telling y'all, they flew me out to California a week before last, and to be on this show, and the show was about, can money buy happiness? When they brought me on, and Larry looked at me, he said, man, why you so happy and jolly? You broke now, you ain't got no money, right? And like I told him, I got the joy of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? It don't take money to make me happy.
That's right.
Don't take money to cause my joy, you know. Right. We might not have a lot of things of the world that you know, that like a lot of people in the world have, but those things will fade away anyway.
That's right.
When I won that lottery, I thought I could depend on myself. God showed me I couldn't depend on myself, right? Yeah.
Amen. Brother, that's my brother here. I learned a lot from him. He's not ashamed of what God has done with him. And he's really like this all the time. And I'm with him every day. He's not lacking for anything. He doesn't have $5 million no more. but what he does have is greater than that. And if God chooses to give him $5 million again, he can. But he really has a love for the Lord and for the Word of God.
God has to break you down to humble you. You see, as long as I had that money, I wasn't that humble. You know what I'm saying? He had to show me, in other words, that even though I had all that money and everything, that I still needed Him. You see, I never intended to be a preacher, you know what I'm saying? But you never know what the Lord has for you. Okay, so we're going to Romans 10, and tonight we're going to be talking about righteous faith and how to be saved. All right? Okay, now what is faith? Faith is, listen at this now. Amen, come on. Faith is, I believe God. Amen. That's faith. Amen. You give your life to Christ for real and be real with him. You within your spirit and soul, it don't mind leaving this world. That's why a lot of people ask me, say, ain't you scared to go into the prisons? You know, what if they have a riot and you get killed? Well, if I get killed, I'm going on to be with the Lord. You see? That's why I'm not afraid to go into the prisons or things like that. God bless you, brother. God bless you, my brother. Now unto him who is able to keep us from falling and to present us faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God our Savior be glory, majesty, dominion, and power. Both now and forevermore, let every believing saint say amen. A lot of people ask me, would I do things different if I had to do all over again? There is a few things I would do different. You see, because God blessed me to win the lottery. You know, and I didn't do what I was supposed to do, you know. If I'd have used that money to glorify God, he'd have tripled it for me. God bless you, brother. Love you, brother. Ministers leaving. You need that joy and peace of the Lord within you, you know. And I love it. I don't have the money that I had, but God can still bless me with that too, you know. He can still bless me with that too.
I am certified to work out in the kitchen area. I prefer not to do that. Out there, it's every day, it's different food, so you have to do different things, and I don't care for it as much, so I enjoy it back here. When you have like mashed potatoes or cheese or dressing, you get, you know, it's hard to keep up. It gets pretty hectic. When we used to have soup day, I'd tell them not to eat the next day because we'd have to do bowls and trays. So, don't eat tomorrow, I tell them. But they ate anyway sometimes, so. But now we got styrofoam bowls, so I don't have to worry about it, so. I'll get a raise now because I was certified. I just got certified. I worked here all these years and never was certified, so now I just got certified, so then you get 20 cents an hour more. So that'll come in handy. Did they put degreaser in here? I use that money for what I wanted to do, and I still do that. So it's like my money, and I can do with it what I want. And I live from paycheck to paycheck. You know, when I get that paycheck, I can go to town today, and I can go shopping. I can do some Christmas shopping. Thank you. You betcha. You know, we're older in life, but we have 4 kids. We want to see them benefit from this. My kids told me to retire next year. I mean, like, finish up this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. I like it. My husband's home, and I mean, if I was home all the time with him, we'd probably be divorced, and I don't want that. So it just gives me something to do, and I like the people I work with, so we have a good time.
I've been playing for 14 years, and it finally paid off. At a quarter a shot. We started out putting a quarter in, and that's what we always put in. The neat thing about it, I won it with 15 of my best friends, ladies I've worked with for years. It was a lot of fun.